right, it's time to wrap up. And as the host of Broadcaster on the Beach with Halftime Howie, I want to say that I'm very proud of my staff. I think they really brought it today with a lot of creativity, thinking outside the box. Like Mayor Minch on his cruising segment normally talks about ships and different ship lines, but today he thought outside the box, talked about a destination spot, Cayman Islands, and all the benefit of Cayman Islands, and I thought that was great, so great job on that, Mayor. Brandon Ellis came up with a very, very unique twist with his Stargazer segment. He tied in, which is important, the month of February, which we had a whole big show last week on, Black History Month. He tied in Black History Month with Star Trek, about having an African American who had the first interracial kiss on TV, and fascinating take. And so that was a really dynamic, thinking outside the box, creative segment. And Rich Kaplan, Clear for Takeoff, had a really, really interesting take, really fascinating, talking about integrating his passion for aviation with what could happen going to Mars and the moon, and tying in science fiction with his passion for flying. So that was a really cool segment, collaborating Brandon Ellis and Rich Kaplan, a great segment. And I was very, very refreshed to hear Rocco talk about my favorite type of movie, romantic comedy. I love that When Harry Met Sally's and the Sleepless in Seattle's and all those great romantic comedies. Of course, my favorite romantic comedy of all time would be Pretty Woman. I just love those great romantic comedies. Officer and Gentleman. I really love the ones where the really rich person connects to the really poor person from the opposite side of the tracks. So it was really refreshing to hear Rocco do a romantic comedy. And it's not Rocco's fault. I mean, Hollywood is just making action movies and horror films and remakes and sequels upon sequels, and that's what they're coming out with. So it was really refreshing to have Rocco do a romantic comedy. So tonight, I really felt the staff brought it with a lot of enthusiasm. And I want to close my segment with this. You know, I get a tremendous amount of followers on my Halftime Howie show, my page, doing comparisons every day, and my quote of the day. You know, it's really developed, I don't want to say like a cult following or being a rock star, but it really is, because hundreds of people comment. And from time to time, I love to share things that I know will touch people's heart. And to my audience out there who are viewing this, I want to touch on a story from Long Island that really touched my heart that I want to share and close our show with. There was this couple that met about 80 years ago, and met in Long Island, and they met about 80 years ago, and for each, they were the very first love in each other's life. And they got married, and they were married for 77 years. And just recently, the last few days, towards the end of their life, they were holding hands in a hospital bed. They were both in a hospital room, separate hospital beds, holding hands. And one died, and then the very next day, the other one died. So, just a truly wonderful love story, how this couple from Long Island, first love, last love, they lived 77 beautiful years together, and they're going into eternity together. I just thought it was a beautiful story. Love to the very end. So I just wanted to share that with our friends and followers on Facebook, and shall we all who get married see our marriage last 77 blissful, wonderful, romantic, loving years. And with that, again, great job, Brandon Ellis, Rich Kaplan, Mayor Minch, Rocco Pasafumi. And with that, let me wrap with this. My name is Halftime. I want to thank you for your time. Please join us next Sunday, rendition of Halftime. But at this time, we are out of time. See you next Sunday.